Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Morning. I'm great. How are you?
Good. I would think that Matt would agree with you.
Yeah, this thing is not going to stay on the whole time. It's squeezing my temples, and I think I'm losing circulation in my head. Because it's probably meant for like a 6-year-old, but like the drip is forever.
Or maybe just for display, right? Maybe
Mhm.
it wasn't even supposed to be on someone's head right now, right?
Maybe not at this age.
Right. Maybe heads used to be smaller.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have a big head. This is definitely my chin sticks out, so you know.
I have a really big head too. So hats just don't fit right. Probably partially my hair as well. All right. So, hello. And I started your quizzes. I finished my 9 o'clock class. I didn't quite finish you guys's, but I should be finished tonight. So you should be able to see stuff on your written work as well as your updated score, which hopefully will go up, right? With your written work. Um, that being said, yesterday we had an exit ticket that was bad. I don't know what happened on that exit ticket, but I literally had to send a bunch of emails. Like, I don't know what was going on that exit ticket. So let's talk first about the exit ticket, and then we'll share shirts. And then actually, as soon as I let everybody in, Matt, we'll let you share your hat, and I'll share my shirt because it's not very exciting. Your hat is much more exciting. It's just going to be Matt Tuesday. That's what we're going to call it. Matt Tuesday. Well, and every day he seems to have a
Yeah.
hat on. Okay, so Matt, why don't you tell us about your head attire?
Oh, let's just telling you. This is my Renaissance night helmet, I guess, and I've had this thing in my room since I was probably 6 years old. I got this at the Renaissance Festival. My chin sticks out the bottom. It barely fits. I can't see out of it, and it hurts my head when I wear it. But it's here, and I wore it today. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about
Nice. Okay. Did it fit you when you were a kid? Do you remember?
that. Oh yeah, I had a much smaller head back then. So,
Okay. So that must be it. You just outgrew your night helmet.
uh-huh.
And the Renaissance Festival is not happening, right, this year. It didn't happen this year, but they did do something online and I don't really know what it was. Did anyone pay attention?
I have no. I've been there in so long.
Yeah, they did something and I'm hoping it's back next year. The Renaissance Festival is always a fun thing to do.
I
Has
do.
anyone else ever been there? Yeah, it's fun. My husband's favorite part is the turkey leg, right?
Mm.
Yeah, which would be my least favorite part because that just grosses me out. But and my vegetarian daughter would definitely be opposed to that. So it's fun. We travel as a very incongruent group. Okay, anyone have a shirt they want to share today? Thank you, Matt, and feel free to take that helmet off if it's squeezing your brain.
All right, I'll survive for a little bit longer.
Yeah, throwing
I
the
actually do have
tomatoes.
one.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, hold on. So this is my newest addition to my collection. This is from Hot Topic.
Oh, nice. That's
This
a
is
good one.
another Billie Eilish shirt, as everyone knows. I have many of her shirts, so this is just another one.
Hot Topic has great shirts. Okay, anyone else? Okay, here's mine. I might have shared it before. I can't remember. It's a math club shirt. It's Mesa Community College, M squared C cubed. So, and then there's an expression. It says express yourself. That turns out to be 1. This all simplifies to 1, which is very fun. So just math nerdiness. So yeah, I wear this all the time when I'm hiking, and people just like stare at me for too long. Like, first of all, who would have a math club shirt, and who would have more than one, and who would wear it hiking? I don't know. It's great. It's like a dry fit shirt. So, okay. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the exit ticket from yesterday. Because it was bad. Your email, I mean, you should have got an email if you got it wrong, right? Okay, but I'm going to put it in the chat just so we remember it. Okay, so it says, suppose you roll a 6-sided die. What's the probability that you roll an odd number or a 5? And it says, write your answer as a simplified fraction using that backslash as a fraction bar, a decimal, or a percent. So if I do this on, I'll just share a whiteboard. Who can tell me, can you guys see the whiteboard? I hope so. Okay, who can tell me what the probability formula is for OR? So if I'm trying to find the probability of A or B, what's the formula? Tashina, go ahead.
Going to be the probability of A plus B minus A and B.
Very nice. So this isn't necessarily a formula you have to memorize because it's on your probability formula sheet, which I haven't finished grading your quizzes yet, but I finished my first class and I was chatting with them about it. And I was like, did you use the probability formula sheet when you took the probability quiz? And a couple people said, yeah, I did. And coincidentally, their scores were very, very high. And a couple other people were like, no, I forgot it was there. And their scores, maybe not coincidentally, were very, very low. So how many of you actually used the probability formula sheet on when you took the quiz? Okay, Judith did, Tashina did, Zach did, Lee did. Did anyone else forget it was there? Yeah, Lily forgot it was there. Now, you might have known it was there and you just didn't use it. That's fine too, right? So only Lily forgot it was there. Everybody else knew it was there and used it if they wanted to, correct? Okay, so keep that in mind with the second part of the quiz as well. I'm just going to leave the whole sheet there because it might ask you card questions and the cards are all up at the top, right? So I'm just going to leave the whole sheet, but most of it you'll just need that very, very bottom part for. Okay, so if we have this, we want the probability that we roll an odd number or a 5. And I noticed, at least on my first class, I can't speak for you guys yet because I haven't finished grading, the people that wrote out their probability statements did better on the quiz than those that did not write out their probability statements. So keep that in mind, right? So we want the probability of an odd plus the probability of a 5 minus the probability it's both odd and a 5. So Annie, what's the probability that you roll an odd number when you roll just one 6-sided die?
If it's odd, I got 3/6.
Very nice, 3/6, because there's 3 odd numbers, right? 1, 3, and 5 out of 6 total. Excellent. And then what's the probability it's a 5, Lily?
1 out of 6.
1 out of 6. Excellent, because there's only 1 5 on the die, right? Out of 6 total numbers. Now, this is the part where I think you forgot or some of you made a mistake. is it possible for both of these things to happen at the same time? So could you roll a number that is both odd and a 5? Is that possible?
Yes.
Yeah, that is. If you roll a 5, it's odd, right? So those events are not mutually exclusive. So I do have to subtract off that probability. And what is the probability that it's odd and a 5?
1 out of 6.
There you go. 1 out of 6. Some of you are like, I'm a little confused. I don't know why I'm still saying 1 out of 6, but it is. And you're like, wait a minute. So if I do this part, 1/6 minus 1/6, that's 0. Or you could do 3/6 plus 1/6, which would be 4/6. 4/6 minus 1/6 would be 3/6. So the probability that it's odd or a 5 is 3/6 or 1/2, which is 0.5 or 50%. And you could have answered any of these. Unfortunately, I got a lot of not those answers. I got a lot of very bizarre answers, like 1/12, 7/12, 2/3, 8/6. I don't even know how that would be possible. Remember, the highest probability you can have is 1 whole, right? 100% is the highest probability. So really, when you do those exit tickets, I understand if you were just rushing, but it's a great way for me to tell, did you understand that lesson for that day? And after yesterday, it was a resounding no. You did not understand that lesson yesterday. Right? No, not everybody got it wrong. 1, 2, 3 people got it right. Yeah, 3 people. So good job, you 3. Okay, so don't forget about this formula or the formula sheet because it's important. Okay, that being said, try these for warm up and do me a favor because I know some people are still having rounding issues. Give me the answer all 3 ways. Give me the answer as a fraction, a decimal to 4 places, and a percent rounded to the nearest tenth. And we'll just do number 1 first. And if you follow, I'm gonna give you a little hint. Okay. We're rolling 2 dice. How many sums or possible outcomes are there on 2 dice when you roll them and add them together? Do you remember?
36.
Yeah. So there's 36 total possible outcomes. Okay. Then you can think about how many ways can you get either a 6 or a 7. And then number 2 is just like one we did on our worksheet yesterday. So you should be able to do number 2. So do both of those. I'll give you a couple minutes. When you have an answer, just private message me your answer. You don't have to send it to everybody, and we won't even do a 3, 2, 1 chat. Just privately send me the answer. And if you don't know what you're doing, send me a question. Okay? But don't just sit there and wait till I go over it because that's not learning. Okay.
Wait, which problems are we doing right now?
Can you see my screen? Nope, you can't. Hold on. I
Oh.
switched my screen, but I didn't tell Zoom I switched. Thank you, Matt. You were probably like, what are you talking about?
I was really afraid that I was like behind on something.
Can you see my iPad now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. There's 2 questions on there. Now you look a little more enthusiastic about doing the problems now that you can see them. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, just in case you guys are confused, remember, I sent in the chat, how many ways can you get a 6? Well, you could get a 1 and a 5, or you could get a 5 and a 1, or you could get a 2 and a 4, or a 4 and a 2, or you could get a 3 and a 3. So there's 5 ways to get a 6. Now you think of the ways to get a 7. I know some of you want a chart. You could make your own chart, right? Because the chart that we had did this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it went this way. But I'm pretty sure if you just list your outcomes, you're going to figure it out. Okay. You guys were private messaging me your answers, right? To both 1 and 2. Nice face, Brady. You just figured that out. I'm messaging each person back, so send them to me. So far, Tashina has them both correct. Yay! A lot of you have one of them correct, but not both of them yet. Okay, so some of you sent me the first one and you got it right. Did you try the second one? Okay, how are you doing? Do you need a little more time or do you want me to kind of push you in the right direction? Okay. So if we look at this first one, this chart was just if you needed it. You didn't have to use it, right? Some of you just wanted it. So I did not use it. I just listed my outcomes like this. So there were 6 ways to make a 6. I'm sorry, there's 5 ways to make a 6. There's 6 ways to make a 7. So to make a 7, I could do a 1 and a 6, or a 6 and a 1, or a 2 and a 5, or a 5 and a 2, or a 3 and a 4, and a 4 and a 3. So there's 6 total ways to make a 7. Do you agree with me? And if you do enough of these problems, you notice that it goes 2 to 12. And if you think of what that piece of paper looks like, it goes, there's 1 way to make a 2, there's 2 ways to make a 3, 3 ways to make a 4, 5 ways to make a 6, 6 ways to make a 7, and then it goes back down to 1, right? So if you think of that, that might help you. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to say the probability of a 6 or a 7 is the probability of a 6 plus the probability of a 7 minus the probability of a 6 and a 7. So the probability of a 6, well, I said there's 5 ways to get a 6, so 5 out of 36, plus 6 ways to get a 7, so 6 out of 36. And then is there any way for me to roll a sum of a 6 and a 7 at the same time? If I roll 2 dice and I add them together, can I get a sum of a 6 and a 7 on the same roll? No. So this is going to be 0. So I don't have to worry about that because these are mutually exclusive events. Okay, this vocabulary should not be foreign to you. If it is, you need to read the textbook again, right? And do your mini lesson again. Okay, so the probability of a 6 or a 7 is 11 out of 36. And if I make that a decimal, it's going to be 0.3056. And I noticed, at least in my other class, some students are having a lot of rounding issues. Is everybody clear on why that would be 0.3056? Because on your calculator, it just keeps going 5555555, right? So if that last digit past the one you're rounding to is 5 or higher, you're going to round it up. And then as a decimal rounded to the nearest tenth, it would be 30.6%. So questions on the first one, your answers would be these. Any questions on any of those answers? Everybody understands those? Everybody needs to respond so I know you understand, or you're asking me a question right now. I see some heads shaking, but I see literally some blank stares or not even looks at me.
I feel like I just need practice like regarding the formula and the numbers. Other than that, I've understood it all. Just getting to like the P 6 or 7 equals like that. I think I haven't practiced that enough. That's why I was stuck.
Yeah, so let's write that out on every single problem, right? On every single problem on your more homework, you should be writing things down on a piece of paper, right? So you know what's happening. It shouldn't be a guessing game. I've seen you guys do your homework before on more, and this is what it is. It's a guessing game. It's like, oh, I don't know, I'm just going to put in the wrong answer. Maybe there's a video I'll watch. I'll just watch the video and I'll pretend I know how to do it. And then I'll put in the answers. That's not studying. That's not what that is. That's playing a video game to get to the next level, which works fine on a video game. It does not work fine in your math class, just so you know. Okay, so be careful of how you're studying. Okay, and I love the looks on some of your faces. They're like, oh my gosh, it's like she knows what we're doing. Yeah, I do. I was a student a long time, right? Yeah, I know the games we play. Okay, So the second one is a little different. If you were here yesterday, it was a little bit easier, right? Because we did one of these yesterday. So remember, if we're trying to find the probability of A or B, I promise you, you should write it out. The probability of A or B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. Then you know what to plug in because the probability of A is right here. It tells me 0.76. The probability of B is right here, 0.3. And then it said, okay, I'm going to subtract the probability of A and B, which is right here. Now, why did it give you that extra information? Why did it give you that
To
extra
confuzzle
info?
people?
Wiley?
To confuzzle people?
Yeah, exactly. To make sure you know the formula, right? Because some of you are like, I don't know, they gave us that number, we should probably use it, right? Don't do that. Use the formula, right? And it's also nice because programming wise, they could use that same info and ask you lots of different questions, right? So that's the other reason it's nice. Okay, so there's our decimal. The probability of A or B is 0.78, which is 78%, or 78 over 100, which simplifies to 39 over 50. Yes? So your answers on the second one are this, this, and this.
I have a question.
I'm ready, Matt.
On my calculator, I did you said my math was off, and I did the 0.78 plus 0.3 minus 0.28, but it
Wait.
gave me
Did you say 0.78 or 0.76?
0.78. Oh wait, why did I do that? Okay, never mind, I'll shut up.
No, and that's what we do a lot, is we just make a silly mistake on our calculator, right? We type in the wrong thing on our calculator. That's why when I'm grading your quizzes, I look at what you wrote on your paper. I experienced this already. I had someone who wrote on their quiz online, the answer was like, I don't know, 5 over 17, but they just wrote 5 over 7 on Canvas. But on their paper, I could see where they had their fraction that was 10 over 34, and then they wrote 5 over 17. So I could give them credit for that because they had written it down. Sometimes we just type goofy things, whether it's in our calculator or on Canvas. Okay, so any questions on this part? Zach, is that better now for part B?
Yeah, it
Anyone
is.
else? Okay, good. Anyone else on either one of these warm-ups? I know we spent a lot of time between our exit ticket and these two warm-ups, but it's very important, right? So you can do the rest of them. Okay. So yesterday you were in your breakout room and you were working on a handout. Seems familiar, right? And there were a total of 8 questions on that handout. And some of you got close to finishing. I don't think anyone in here finished. Am I right? This is what I have. I have Matt was on number 7 and Tashina was on number 7. Annie still had 7 and 8 to do. Brady was on number 8. Ruki was on number 4. Judith was on 5. Danessa was on 3. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, I'm now
Okay.
number 6, not the 4.
Nice. You're on number 6.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Okay, so I just put it in the chat because Lee and Zach, you weren't here. So this is what we're going to do. If it was me, I would go back to the very beginning problems and I would write out my probability statement on every single one so you know what you're doing, right? Because this is how you're studying, okay? And if you don't know how to write it, call me in your room for help. If you're just starting it today, Lee and Zach, I'm going to put you guys together in the same room. So then if you have any questions, you can help each other. So I'm going to put you in a room either with who you were with, I think, or who you're close to on the how far you are. So Tashina and Matt, were you together yesterday?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I'll put you two back together. Brady and Annie, were you two in the same room yesterday? I feel like that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Rookie, who were you with yesterday?
I think it's Lily. No.
Oh, Lily, yeah. Okay, perfect. I'll put you with Lily. And then Lee and Zach are in the same room. Danessa and V were together. All right. Okay, so I put you in breakout rooms. Call me in to check your answers or help you. If you get all this finished today in class, you don't have any, you get full credit on this, right? You just have your other homework on more, okay? But I really think it's worth your time to write out those probability statements. Okay, if you want to do all the problems first and then write them, that's fine. But Zach and Lee, since you're just starting, it'd be great to write them out when you start. Okay, call me in if you have any questions. I'm just waiting for everybody to get back, just so you know.
Okay, I'm still working.
You did, what number are you on?
I'm on 7.
Excellent. I think Danessa was on number 7 too. All right, welcome back, everyone. Everybody worked so hard today. Everybody got done or really close to done, which is really important. So good job. I will give you full credit on that. Nice. Thanks, Tashina. I hope some of you liked that you got a little bit of time to do some of your homework if you were there, or you got help from me more on an individual level, right? So just one or two of you instead of the whole class of you, where I can't even tell what people are knowing or not knowing. So I just put your exit ticket in the chat. I will make sure I post my slides after class, which has a link to the key. You also, just in case you feel like you need some extra practice, like you're going to the tutoring center or maybe this weekend or whatever it is, there is on this page, there's a homework handout. It's just extra practice. It doesn't count for you or anything. And then I'll make sure I put the key in the slides too, so you could have both of those. But don't cheat yourself and really try to do it before you look at the key. Okay, so tonight, PC5, more practice, PC6 reading quiz, and PC6 mini lesson. Okay, so it's really important that you have this straight in your mind before we turn the page to tomorrow, right? So I highly recommend you try to get your PC5 homework done before your mini lesson so you don't get too confused. Okay. Do your exit ticket. Let me know if you have any questions, and otherwise I will see you tomorrow. Great job today.
Great, thank you. Have a great day.
Bye, Danessa.
Thank you.
Thank you.